I don't know how many of you are familiar with the Berlin Conference. The Berlin Conference, that's when the colonial masters got together and decided that these Africans who are so powerful, the Africans who were defeating them in battle with bows and arrows while they were fighting with guns, they wondered, how on earth are we going to defeat such an amazing race? You see, the truth of the matter is they tried for centuries. Any other race that would have gone what we went through as Africans would be extinct. But they realized that we are indestructible.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel once again. My name is Dash Lifestyle. Kindly for watching me for the first time, remember to subscribe, like, share, and also comment. So guys, in today's video, I want us to watch and to listen to this powerful message from our African leader. She's known as Dr. Arikana. Dr. Arikana, she has come out and give us the reasons to why America it is afraid of black unity, why America is afraid of us black people, and also she's coming out and exposing how America, what some of the things that America it has been doing to our African country, and that's why our African country it is not developing. So kindly guys, watch this video till the end, then I'll be back with more comment.
So they decided to come together in 1884 November to talk about how we can effectively make sure that the Africans are forever defeated and dominated. So when they met in Berlin, they met to design Africa in a way that Africa and its people are forever defeated. That was 1884. Fast forward, nothing has changed. The strategy remains in place. You see, they designed these economies in a way that as long as these economies remain what they are as individual African countries, they are economies that can always be exploited. When is Africa going to wake up and realize that as we are today, we will never be in a position to take our Africa to its rightful place on the world stage? As a continent, we are a heavyweight. We belong in the big league, in the heavyweight ring. And the only way that we can take our Africa to its rightful place, it starts with a conversation with the image in the mirror. Because we need to decolonize ourselves. We have failed to come together because of the rule of divide and conquer, the seed that was also sown during the Berlin Conference. We must wake up and realize that we are victims of that. When we go to a negotiating table as black people, we always go feeling inferior. It goes back to Berlin Conference. And they come in feeling superior. So until the African wakes up and realize that we're just as good as anybody else, that we can play the big boy game just like they do. And the only way we can win, however, is to cleanse this, have a conversation with the image in the mirror, and unite. It's something that we need to understand if, as black people, if we are going to change our circumstances in the world. We are the most disrespected race by design. We were systematically brainwashed. We were systematically put in the state of mind that we are in. If you look at, let's take it back to Africa, prior to the children of Africa being taken out of Africa as slaves, and even after they were taken out of Africa as slaves, the instructions that the missionaries were given in terms of how to deal with the African. Remember, when they came to Africa, they found very resistant people, very well-established religious educational systems, people who were so strong that they didn't know how they could conquer Africa unless they addressed the issues of Africa from the core. So they set out a process of letting us believe that everything to do with Black and African was bad, and everything to do with white was better. White and European was better. We have to understand that. The missionaries were given instructions on how to instruct us and how to control our minds. They were told to teach us how to read, but not to reason. It was a systematic process, specific instructions on how to handle a Black person in order to get them where they wanted us to be. They used the same process with the slaves on the plantations, where they began this process of divide and conquer, lighter-skinned people versus darker-skinned people, the straighter your nose versus the flatter your nose, thin lips versus thick lips. It was a process that we have been put through. We have been trained to self-hate. I use the example of religion, and I use an example of myself growing up in Zimbabwe. The British did not come to Zimbabwe until 1896. Prior to their coming, we did not know of white color or Black color. We were Africans. We were Africans. But the missionaries came in and they told us about Christianity. They told us about Jesus Christ. They told us about the angels who were white and the devil who was Black. Then they turn around and say, the angels are desirable. They do the wonderful things. We must aspire to be like them. And they said, oh, by the way, we may not look like this white sheet of paper. Besides, remember, they introduced the color white and the color Black. We didn't have that. So we know how Black looks like. We know how white looks like. But they turn around and say, the angels are white and we are white too. Never mind how we look. We may not look like this piece of paper, but believe we are white and we represent the angels. And you're Black. You may not look like this cover of my phone, which is Black, but you represent the devil. The devil is Black, the devil is evil. We all must run away from the devil. You don't want to represent the devil. Oh, by the way, you may not look like this Black piece of paper, but you're Black too. Then now let's go to church. And we kneel down in front of the white angels, in front of white Jesus, who we know very well Jesus Christ was not white. Even their own Bible tells us he had crimson skin. We know for a fact that when Mary and Joseph were running away from King Herod, they were told to go to Egypt. Why? Because in Egypt, Jesus Christ would blend with those who looked more like him. If he was white, they would have told them to run to Europe. So we have all these obvious lies that we have been told. So for centuries, we have knelt and worshiped white Jesus and white angels and denied that which they told us represented us. So they systematically put us through a process of self-hate. It is not by surprise that we hate ourselves. We don't like each other. We don't trust each other. Understand that this has been a systematic process of criminalizing Blackness, of teaching us and training us to hate everything that looks like us, and educating that the more we look closer to what white people do, the better off we are. So we spend the rest of our lives and the lives of our children and the lives of generations to come, if we do not do something about it, hating ourselves, teaching our children to hate ourselves. We are a sick people. Let's face it. We need healing. We have been so brainwashed to hate ourselves. We have been so brainwashed to the point that even the obvious lies, we hear them, we know their lies, but we can't get ourselves to unbelieve. I believe in Jesus Christ. What I have problems with is what they have done with the name of Jesus Christ. Abused his name, misrepresented his name. Religion, they have used it as an instrument to brainwash us. I believe in the religion. It is how it is taught to us and presented to us. It is distorted. It is no longer the truth that the Bible speaks of. But we know better. Because when we are lied to, we know it. Why do we find it so difficult to denounce those lies? The lies that Martin Luther King spoke about. We know we do some of the dumbest things. A Black man opens a shop in a Black neighborhood. And the minute a Chinaman opens a shop next door to them, we black people, we stop patronizing a black man and we run to the Chinaman. It's the case of the white man's ice is colder. How sick can we be? How dumb can we be? Even in the face of obvious truths, it's easier for us to believe a white man when they lie to us because the white man said so. The question is, how long will it take us to understand that those are lies that we have been told, that we have been programmed to hate ourselves? Understand your history. That will begin the process of healing. Understand what has been done to you. Understand that you're riding somebody else's train, going in somebody else's direction towards their own destination. Your train is in the next track. It should be going in the opposite direction. That is where your destiny is. Understand that you are the father of humanity. Understand, as a black woman, you are the mother of humanity. You gave birth to the first human being. Understand that before they were, you were. So as the father and mother of humanity, why do you accept the lies? Why do you allow those you gave birth to, those whose sheer existence depends on you, to abuse you? Understand your history. Understand where you have been. Stand on the tallest mountain and let the world know the facts that they themselves have uncovered. They went to Europe, looking for the origins of humanity. They couldn't find it there. They went everywhere around the world looking for the origins of humanity. They couldn't find it until they came to our Africa. So stand on top of the tallest mountain and proclaim to the world who you are. But that starts with your understanding of your history. Let the world know that you're the beautiful, intelligent, sophisticated, highly adaptable, and totally indestructible original person, original human being, the African. So yes, it was a long answer, but you needed to hear it from the beginning. It starts, it stays, and it ends with your understanding of your history. Know your history, know where you have been, and understand and accept first and foremost that we are a wounded people and we need healing. And that healing begins with one having a serious conversation with the image in the mirror. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Very passionately presented. I will say that if the color coding was intentional, and for that matter, it was also false, why do we continue to call ourselves blacks and call others whites or yellow or whatever? Why don't we just stop using that categorization and simply call ourselves Africans?
You're quite right.
Yeah.
I speak to that. I speak to that all the time. Again, we're just accepting the blatant lies. My brother, I'm looking at you, you're looking at me. I don't blend with my black hair. I don't blend with my black dress. So yes, those are lies. We need to undo them. So maybe there needs to be a movement that needs to start to say we are Africans and we refuse to be color-coded anymore, because that color coding, it goes to the core of who we are. Look at that little experiment they did on CNN with Anderson Cooper, with little girls being given white dolls and black dolls. Even black kids at that early age, they preferred the white doll. So it's deep. So yes, we can change it. We can begin by saying we're Africans, no more color, because that is, it was used to divide us. It was used to self-hate. So I agree with you. I think there should be a movement to refuse to be called black and be called African. It's up to us to start that movement.
All right, thank you. I'm still going to stay with you on one more point before we are going to have a continuation of our interaction more informally. On the issue of the diaspora, what is the role of the diaspora to Africa's future? and vice versa, Africa's role in the diasporan future?
A very important question. The issue of brain drain goes to the core of who the diaspora are and what the diaspora mean to the continent. So to understand the diaspora and their significance in the history of Africa, to understand the diaspora in the history of us as Africans in the diaspora, you must understand the brain drain. The brain drain out of Africa started over 400 years ago, when the children of Africa were taken out of Africa as slaves. Remember, and I like to let everybody understand, descendants of the formerly enslaved, you are a product of what Africa, the best that Africa had. They took the best and the fittest out of Africa. They took the best that they felt could stand the long journey transatlantic. They took the best that they knew would survive on the plantations. So I want descendants of the formerly enslaved to know that don't you ever let anybody make you feel inferior. You are the cream de la cream of Africa. You are descendants of the cream de la cream of Africa. Stand up tall and let everybody know that. That brain started back then, followed by more recent immigrants who came in search of, who left Africa in search of greener pastures, running away from wars and famine. The end result is the intellectual capacity that Africa needs. Most of it, if not more than half of it, is in the diaspora. The reality is, as we speak, Africa does not have enough intellectual capacity, enough expertise to build the Africa that we want. It is precisely because of that reason that the heads of states are looking to the Chinese, the Europeans, and anybody else that wants to come to Africa, because we are in the diaspora. To bring things home, you take, for example, people talk about healthcare in Africa. There are more Ghanaian doctors in New York City than in the entire country of Ghana. How then do we improve healthcare in Ghana if the doctors are not there? President Nana Addo, he thought by building new hospitals and renovating new ones, that was how he was going to improve healthcare. To his surprise, half of those hospitals are sitting empty, not because there are no patients, but because there are no doctors. The same is true in every African country. The same is true in every sector, engineering, education. The diaspora are needed in order for us to build the Africa that we want. Allow me to point out and highlight that in this particular moment, this year, as we go into 2021, the implementation of the African Continental Free Trade Area is going to begin. What is the African Continental Free Trade Area? It is a decision that was agreed upon by the African heads of states in 2018. It is a decision that has begun the process of finishing the unfinished business, which was started by our Pan-African fathers when they met in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia in 1963, when they ended up with a compromise decision, which they called the Organization of African Unity. The whole purpose of that mission of the meeting was to undo the damage that was done by the Berlin Conference. But unfortunately, they were not able to reach a consensus. Africa was intentionally divided into the tiny little countries that we are today for the purposes of disrupting economic development. If countries cannot trade with each other as neighbors, you cannot grow your economies. So yes, the Berlin Conference was about disrupting economic development. Finally, the African Continental Free Trade Area is getting ready to remove the boundaries that have kept the African countries from trading with each other. What does that mean? That means now you can register your company in one country and spread like wildfire throughout the continent. That means the Chinese realizing that it's now easier to do business in Africa. They're getting ready to quadruple their presence in an Africa that is easy to do business. The Europeans, they're getting ready to quadruple their presence in Africa. The exploitation is getting ready to be of Africa is getting ready to be taken to another level by those who have exploited us for centuries. Here is the reality, my brothers and sisters. It is important that every diaspora understands the African Continental Free Trade Area. Google it, understand it. The reality is there's a void in Africa. It is a void that is to be filled by the African diaspora if we are going to build the Africa that we want. Remember, The Europeans for centuries have built the Africa that they wanted, the Africa that benefited them to our detriment. This void is there. It is waiting for us to fill it. It's waiting for us to be on the driver's seat. Because beginning next year, we're going to be talking about a continental development agenda for Africa. No more shall we talk about how much wheat does Nigeria need, but rather how much wheat do 1.27 billion people in Africa need? How do we build the Cape to Cairo highway? How do we build the Senegal to Djibouti highway and everything in between? We are talking about developing a continent. We're talking about meeting the needs of 1.27 billion people in a collective way. Here is where we are going to fall short. While the others are ready to jump in and take over your Africa, your inheritance, the diaspora don't even know about the African Continental Free Trade Area, let alone even think about organizing in order to take over what belongs to you. So the role of the diaspora is to understand what is going on in Africa, to understand that this is now an opportunity for Black people to build generational wealth, to earn and build economic liberation, an opportunity that has been denied all Black people on the continent and outside the continent. The African Continental Free Trade Area is an opportunity for the diaspora to unite and to go home and fill that void that has your name. Take over that seat that has your name. If we do not come together as the diaspora private sector and unite with the diaspora, with the private sector on the continent, Africa is going to be taken over, this time for good, by those who have exploited us for centuries. This moment is a critical moment. We have a responsibility as the diaspora to seize it, to unite, and be prepared to pull our funds together so our Africa cannot be taken away from us. We owe it to our children, our grandchildren, and generations to come. What is in Africa belongs to them. It is their inheritance, and we must defend it by any means necessary. Let's unite. The more I begin to understand not only our Africa, but the more I begin to understand us as Black people, why is it that we are the most disrespected people on earth, no matter where you find us on this globe? They often wondered why these Black people are so smart and so indestructible. Maybe it's because of that third eye. No, it is the melanin. That's what makes us special. That's what makes us the origin of humanity, which is our motherland. Our motherland, Africa. The continent with everything and anything the world needs. The continent that everybody is going to for their needs. But the continent that we, the children of Africa, are busy running away from. That keeps me up every night. The more I try to dig deeper in understanding as to why Africa is where Africa is today, I couldn't help but find myself repeatedly going back to the beginning to say, how did we end up where we are as Africans? How did we get here? Not only as Black people, but as Africans. The colonizers started coming to Africa, starting with the Portuguese, followed with slavery. But by 1884, after they had been haphazardly going into our continent, looting from the Africans, pretty soon they started looting from each other the loot that they had looted from the Africans. And before you know it, they were killing each other. And they were getting ready to have a war, a European war on the African soil. So Bismarck, the Chancellor of Germany at that time, called his sidekick Leopold, King Leopold of Belgium, said, listen, we got a problem. we're getting ready to kill each other and have a European war in Africa. Why don't we call all the colonizers? That was France, Germany, Italy, Spain, Portugal, Belgium, and of course the mighty Britain. Let's all meet in Berlin, Germany, and strategize on how we can organize ourselves so we can effectively see to it that Africa and her children are forever defeated and dominated. They proceeded to chop up our Africa into tiny little countries that we know of today. Economies that are designed to see to it that they will never make it on their own. And in the event those small economies do make it, they're easy to destabilize. Who, in their right mind, puts a country together like Gambia, Burundi, Togo, Djibouti, Lesotho, Swaziland, and many, if not all, African countries. Each one of them was given the same sovereignty as China, as India. If this world was to be a boxing game, you see, in boxing, they understand that heavyweights belong in the heavyweight boxing ring, middleweights in the middleweights, lightweights and wannabes in their rings. Wannabes are way out there. You don't take a wannabe boxer and throw them in the same ring with the heavyweight. But what's being done to our Africa? Let's start negotiating. It's country against country. Countries, please stand up. Little Gambia stands up. And Gambia is supposed to negotiate with China. Lesotho is supposed to negotiate with India. Swaziland must jump in with the United States. Djibouti, you must go in. You see, the Europeans realized as individual European countries, they can make it. So they came together as the European Union. So they negotiate as a bloc. So yeah, Djibouti, you go in with EU. And when the African countries lose, the world stands back and says, what's wrong with you, African countries? Why aren't you able to manage your people? How can that be? Where is the parity? African countries are wannabe boxers who are constantly being thrown into the heavyweight boxing ring, and we're getting our rear ends kicked day in and day out. (1884), fast forward 2019, nothing has changed. The strategy that was put in place to see to it that Africa and her children are forever defeated and dominated remains alive and well. And yet in our minds we tend to think Berlin Conference is a thing of the past. Well, my brothers and sisters, Berlin Conference is alive and well. And allow me to take it home for you. Have you ever wondered why intra-Africa trade is sitting at 18%? I'll tell you why. With 43 different currencies on the continent. It's difficult to trade with each other because of the currencies. It's easier for us to exchange with the US dollar, with the euro, than with each other. Why is that? Berlin Conference. It's easier for Mozambique to send Mozambican oil outside Mozambique to Europe and everywhere else, just so Zimbabwe next door can buy it from across the oceans. It's easier for a company that's manufacturing the best ceramic tiles in Africa, in Egypt. That company sends its tiles to Italy, only for the Africans to turn around and buy the same tiles, 20, 30 times the cost. Why is it that we are not trading with each other? It's because, starting in South Africa, there's a road that goes up until maybe 2-3 kilometers from the border with Botswana. And that same road picks up 2-3 kilometers into Botswana. And if only we could connect the two. But Berlin Conference said, no, you're different. You're another country. You can't look at it this way. If we were to connect all the existing power lines in Africa today, we would provide electricity to 30 million more people. And in the process, we would save $20 billion. But the reason we can't connect the power lines, thanks to Berlin Conference. We're different countries. We can cross that border. Why are our children crossing the Mediterranean in search of nothing? It's because little Gambia can only create so many jobs. And a young man in Gambia, which is surrounded by Senegal, cannot go to Senegal and look for a job. Thanks to the Berlin Conference. Question then becomes, if you look at all the issues we're dealing with today in Africa, one by one, every one of them relates back to the Berlin Conference and our inability to work together as one continent, one Africa, speaking with one voice.
Breaking news coming from South Africa. Julius Malema from South Africa has actually said USA is the biggest enemy of Africans, and USA doesn't want to see Africa stabilizing, and USA doesn't literally want to see any African leader standing still and speaking on behalf of Africans. Have you literally seen the way the US government is fighting Ibrahim Traore, an African leader who have stood still for the Africans? They have gotten to a point that they are using false media like BBC to tarnish Ibrahim Traore's reputation. They've gotten to a point they are using Michael Langley, a fellow African, to tarnish Ibrahim Traore's name. They are getting to a point they are saying that Ibrahim Traore is using African resources to enrich himself. He's not willing to change Burkina Faso life. And I'm like, what does these people from the United States or the government of the United States wants? And Malema is trying to open up a lot of people's eyes so that you can see that these people from the US are not good people. They are here to exploit, they are here to imperialize, and they are here as puppets. They're not here to see Africans stabilize. They are here to exploit what you have and take them to their country. And that's why when they see a bright African standing still for Africans, they feel like it shouldn't be like that. They feel like they should be the one ruling Africa, not an African ruling Africa.
So guys, I hope you have watched that powerful videos from our African leader, Dr. Arikana, and also you have watched some of the videos from our African people coming out and exposing and telling us exactly some of the things that the Western people they have been doing to our African country. So Dr. Arikana, she's coming out and say and tell us that America, it is afraid of us black people. and also it is afraid of our unity, simply because that these people, they fear us to unite, because they know that if black people will come together and we will unite, they will have nothing to benefit from us black people. Because I've been telling you that these people, the Western countries, they are highly depending towards African country. These people, they depend so much to us black people. For right now, I can tell you that the people who build United States, it is black people. The black people build America. When you see America, just see black people, the effort, the struggle of the black people building America. And it is not only America. When you see these beautiful Western countries, the people who have built this country, it is black people. These people, they depend so much to us black people, to our country, because they are taking so much resources in our country. They are using our resources from Africa to develop their country, to create more jobs to their children, to fund healthcare in their country. So these people, they can't do without us black people. These people, they are so much depending towards black country, and that's why these people, they are afraid of us black unity. Recently, we saw that Ibrahim Traore is coming to unite us black people, but these people, they don't want to see Ibrahim Traore uniting black people, because they are coming out and say that Ibrahim Traore, he is a dictator. He is using the goal of Burkina Faso to protect himself, but we know that it is a lie. These people, they want to eliminate these good leaders, and telling us that this leader is not working according to the will of his people. They are coming out and telling us that this leader is a dictator, and we all know that Ibrahim Traore is not a dictator. So these people, they don't want to see Ibrahim Traore influencing other African countries, other African leaders to follow the Ibrahim Traore footsteps. So they don't want to see Ibrahim Traore influencing other African leaders, because when Ibrahim Traore, he will influencing these other African leaders, the African leaders, they will wake up and they will know exactly what they have been doing. It is a wrong thing. They need to do exactly what Ibrahim Traore is doing. And that's why these people, they are so much afraid of black unity. So they have been threatening Ibrahim Traore. Ibrahim Traore, he has managed to survive around 20 assassination attempts. This is to tell you that these people, they are scared, and they don't really want Ibrahim Traore to continue what he is doing, simply because when Ibrahim Traore, he will unite all black people, these people, it will now be the downfall of them, because these people, they can't do without us black people. And also Dr. Arikana, she's exposing some of the things that these people, they have been doing to our African country. These people, they have been taking so much resources. They are coming out and saying that, and telling us that they are helping us with IMF. They are coming out and say that they are helping us with this thing called USAID. So this is to tell you that these people, they have been bringing all these thing to our country so that they can take more resources from our country. So it is now right time for us African people to be independent. We don't want to depend so much to this African country. For me, I can tell you that African people, we need to wake up. The black Americans, I need you to see uniting and supporting the people from Caribbean, the black people from Caribbean, and also African people and black Americans and the black people in the Caribbean. We need to come together. We need to unite so that we can become strong, and also we can send a clear message to these Western countries that for a very long time, these people, they have been dividing us black people, but right now we are uniting just to protect our country and to build also our country. These people, they need to stop calling our country third world country. They need to stop showing bad image of our African country. I can tell you that these people, they have been destroying African image. These people, they have painted a bad image to Africa, and yet they are not showing exactly the people who are making this country to be a third world country. It is them who they are making our African country to be third world country. because they're the ones who are taking resources. They're the ones who are turning our leaders to become puppet. They're the ones who are destabilizing our economy, our country. So this is tell you that these people, they need also to expose themselves by showing also the things that they have been doing to Africa, and that's why Africa, it is a third world country. I can't blame our leaders. It is them who they are turning our leaders to become puppet. It is them who they are really bribing our leaders to become a sellout leaders, to be the leaders not to work according to the will of the people. So for me, I can tell you that right now, we need also to expose them. I really love Dr. Arikana because she's that one of our African leader that she's fearless, and also she's ready to expose and send a warning message to this Western country. For a very long time, these people that have been taking our brave leaders down. They eliminated Muhammad Gaddafi, Thomas Sankara. They have eliminating some of our Patrick Lumumba. So these people, they have been eliminating our good leader, the leaders who were ready to work and develop our countries. These people, they take them down. So right now they want to take also Ibrahim Traore down because they're seeing that in all of the Africa, Ibrahim Traore, he has become a leader who exactly know what the black people they want. And also Ibrahim Traore, he has refused to follow what these people they really want, because when these people, they are see leaders becoming into power, they're the ones who are rushing to go and turn them to become puppet. They're rushing to go and bribe them. So Ibrahim Traore, he has refused all that, and because Ibrahim Traore, he has refused all that, these people, they want to assassinate him. These people, they are coming out and saying that Ibrahim Traore is a dictator. All these lies they are putting to Ibrahim Traore. So I'm so happy to see Africans and black people came together and support Ibrahim Traore. And also I'm seeing our African leaders, they are now coming out and exposing what the Western people they have been doing to our country. So kindly guys, thank you so much. Subscribe if you haven't, like this video, share, and also comment. See you on my next one. Bye bye guys.